However, these are my findings concerning the maths programs, like creative writing. The spider web was so untidy. And brainstorming, when we are brainstorming lapha with spider web, we need to brainstorm ngamagama, not in sentences. Angithi uwenza i-spider diagram and then ubhale i-topic in between, in the middle of the spider diagram. And then now bese ukhipha imilenze ye-spider diagram. Mawukhipha le milenze lama-legs or arms, usu-brainstorma ngama-words that you are going to use umntwana lawo azowasebenzisa to write i-story, not sentences. Then underneath the spider diagram, the learner must make as much sentences as he or as she can using the words that are there kuma arms or kuma legs aliso spider. The sentence construction, the formation of letters was a mess. I'm talking about now the creative writing abantwana that they did. I-sentence construction bekwenye into engayazi. The formation of letters bekwenye into engingayazi. Capital letter umuntu igama elithi umama, capital letter U, small letter M, capital letter A, capital letter F, mix up, of which that is not allowed in a language. In a language, you begin a sentence with a capital letter, and the word, if it's not a proper noun, liba yini ama small letters lonke right through igama lelo. So I'm just pleading with you, colleagues, to teach the learners the formation of words, formation of letters, the sentence construction. Remember, on the day we were supposed to write past tense, into seyadlula kwenzekani on my first day ngifika esikolweni after lockdown. Sasingeke isidingo sokuthi iqale phansi ikhulunywe ngamasotsha. Abantwana they started bekhuluma amasotsha ayevimba imigaqo, kwakuvalwa amaphoyisa. Ayisahlangani lonto nelanga kwakiwa kwangasekho social mhla sesibuyele esikoleni on the first day. And lento le so embarrassing when you think ukuthi obothisha I let them assist abantwana right through. Abantwana had the right to go and ask othisha babo babe stuck ukuthi mem ngenze njani, thisha ngenze njani, but abantwana still babhala baphuma abanhlanhlatha bahamba le in the presence of i-assistance yothisha babo. So manje uyazibuza ukuthi kahle kahle creative writing yahlula abani kuleya competition, yahlula umntwana noma yahlula umphelezeli wakhe okuwumfundisi. And then now topic baphuma baphela ke abantwana abaningi kwi-topic. I'm sure sawathola ama-scripts sabona ukuthi i-topic ya baphuma bashona le sase singasazi ukuthi sibaphe ini masibamakela, sase sesizama sesenzela ukuthi nje kungasabi ihlazo, but nje abantwana baphuma e-topicini. Ngempela ukubhala kwezindaba sicela ukuthi nje abantwana sibafundise bandla sewothisha, even if bangaqala babhaliswe ama-paragraph, especially u-grade 4 baqale nje ngama-paragraph. Mhlawumbe u-term 1 thole week 1 and 2 la kuthiwa khona babhala indaba ubabhalise i-paragraph. Mhlawumbe week 3 and 4 term 1 lo baphinde futhi kufuna babhala indaba babhalise i-paragraph, baze bakujwayele ukwenza sensible sentences enza umqondo, because bavele babhala into nje ungayazi. Some were overlapping the red line, amagama were flying, floating engahleli phezu kwama-lines, and scratch ke nje kwakuyisimanga, ngaze ngikubone uscratch nje in my life. Babe scratcha engazi ukuthi angazi kwenze njani abantwana. So neatness nayo, it needs us as educators to stress ebantwaneni bethu. The spelling of words, it was terrible. Abantwana they cannot spell igama elithi esikoleni safika esangweni, abantwana bebethe gateini, abanye bebheka le. So nje I'm requesting ukuthi othisha ngempela bayafundise ispelling ngempela, hayi indaba yokudlala, because labantwana bethu hayi cha bebesaleka, angazi noma mhlambe besase early in the year since beku-May or ngabe bekuyini inkinga. But however ke I'm still thank othisha ukuthi bazame ngokusemandleni nabo ukuthi abantwana babatraine bakwazi ukuthi baparticipate kulama maths programs ebesinawo. leyo effort nje ukuthi nje umntwana wakhe azafike kwi-district level, it's a big thing ngempela. Othisha basebenzile. If nje bengapholisha, ngicela ukuthi nje ma-colleagues sipholishe le inkinga lezi ezatholakala kulama umsebenzi wobhalwa. So by next year kuzobe kungasafani. Right. Now let us look at abantwana bethu ukuthi benza kanjani kulama maths programs. The results for maths programs, Spellathon winners. isiZulu, Spellathon winners, Luyanda Nkosi from Sibongile position 1, Balenhle Sibiya position 2 from Zibambele primary. Number 3 was Nozikhakhane Sivuleleni primary, Nozikhakhane Sibahle. isiXhosa position 1 was Showen Lisolezi from Dikhabane. Mbatha Minenhle number 2 from Emadlelweni. Mavicho Lungile number 3 from Goza. And then creative writing winners, kwakunzima la, I don't want to lie, but however we managed to pull out these learners from abantwana ababebhalile. Number 1 Nozikhakhane Sibahle Sivuleleni. Number 2 Mbuli Swazi, St. Matthews. Number 3 Tusi. Tusi who? Katsile Lana. Simili Suthando from Funda Ujabule. And then isiXhosa Mbatha Minenhle number 1 Emadlelweni. Number 2 Njoweni Zethu Dikhabane. Number 3 Gonti Emihle from Isipho. Mina bengizothi uma ngabe kunama events aso la anje la abantwana bezoparticipate kuma different programs, bengizothi mina ngizocela ukuthi engathi kungashintsha mhlambe ozobhala ispelling like grade 4 ningaphinde nibuyise yena futhi azoyenza i-creative writing, because now abanye abantwana basathola ithuba. Sekuloku umntwana oyi-1 nje yonke indawo uzothola ukuthi lo mntwana nje position 1 la kwisiZulu yaphi ku-Spellathon nabo position 1 creative writing, uzophinda futhi yabo position 1 ka-maths, aphinde yabo position 1 ka-social sciences. Ake sinikeni nabanye ithuba bakwethu. Hayi, ngiya-understand ukuthi kusuke kusetshenzisela igama lesikole ukuthi phela uSorenso uyena ubest walesi sikole, but nje hayi nabanye ake banikwe ithuba ukuze sibone. But however, I'm thanking you again, colleagues, for having worked so hard ni-trainer labantwana and having brought them to ama-competitions lawa esasinawo laphayana eNonto primary. However, we ended up sesizwa ama-sad news the following month okuhamba kwa-principal wesikole owayesisiza kangaka on the day. Right, colleagues, let us continue. And then now I am going to move on to the next item agenda yethu, which is the presentation on term 3 project administration. So ngicela nje ngiphe 1 second while I'm unsharing lema slides ngizoshare lawa akhuluma nge-projects. Yes. Colleagues, sorry for that. I think you can see the screen now. Colleagues, hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we can, ma'am.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you very
We
much.
can see the screen.
Okay,
Yes,
sorry
ma'am.
for that. Okay, right now I'm presenting in Nabaye project. Remember this term we are doing what you call it project as the assessment yet, like last year. So now a project here which has got 3 sections, ne? It's section 1 here too. I-research, i-section 2 kube i-writing, i-section 3 kube i-oral. And then singakhohlwa-ke ukuthi i-research i-project lama stages lawa ayi-3 njengoba manje kuyi-term 3 sizorekhoda u-stage 1 no-stage 2 which is u-research no-writing, and then u-presentation still noma sizowenza but it will be added kwi-term 4 marks. Right, now let's continue. As I said, kule presentation I want to present all the slides. I'm selecting the slides. Right, there we are. Even though all stages will be administered in term 3, oral presentation marks will be counted with term 4 marks. Sayibona ke research yethu ukuthi u10 marks, i-writing iwu-30, i-oral presentation iwu-20. Right? Let's talk to the next slide. The next slide is talking about the different genres. The literature genres, we warn that we are going to do a project on is going to be poetry, the folk tales, novels, short stories, and drama. And remember, project yethu sizoyenza ngama genres esiwenze ku term 1 no term 2. Ayikho igenre ozothi iqala manje kwi-term 3 ube futhi sowenzisa abantwana i-project. And another thing, i-project ngiyathemba ukuthi seyiqaliwe nje basikhuluma nje, hayi ukuthi kusalindwe ukuthi mhlawumbe uyoziqale ngeviki leliya. Isiqaliwe already, and also it is an individual's work, meaning umntwana nomntwana uyazenzela, and it's done in class, akusi homework. Lokho ke vele wamcanga ukuthi wonke umuntu aware. Right, the next slide. Right, let's look at the next slide. Right. This slide is so important, guys, because it is talking to izinto that we will add masese senza i-bibliography. Remember ukuthi if wenza i-projects nabantwana uzoza nencwadi eklasini ifundwe abantwana nifunde nonke line per line, and then mase seniqedile ukwenza konke lokho wena thisha nje into important kufanele abantwana ubafundise ungakayivuli incwadi. You teach them about the title of the book, you teach them about the author of the book, you teach them about published. Uyabatshela nje ukuthi le ncwadi lena was published by ubani bani bani on such and such a date, right? Before you open the book and start reading it line by line. Sebeyazi ukuthi yini title, isihloko sendaba, bayazi ukuthi yini umbhali or imbongi. So zonke lezo zinto uziteacher before uvula incwadi ngaphakathi. Why you are doing that? It is because in your research questions you will include questions that are talking to the author, that are talking to the title, that are talking to the other series that were written by the very same author. So it's very important to teach abantwana ungaba surprised ngama questions having not taught them. Right, next slide. And remember, in your questions you must bear in mind ukuthi kwi-research yakho ama-questions akho must accommodate all the 5 levels of Barrett taxonomy. Right, the next slide will be the next slide will be this one. Learners works by herself. Njoba ngishilo ukuthi lo msebenzi is an individual work, awenziwa ngama-groups. It's not a homework. The teacher is there to guide and support abantwana 100%. You teach the genre explicitly, line for line analysis. If it's a poem, you teach it line for line. If it's a story, line for line. And you provide resources like your books, charts, crayon, etc. Right, next slide. Now we must look at the role of a teacher. What does the teacher do? The teacher teaches the genre in term 1 and 2. The teacher provides guidance and support, provides frame. If frame is mainly provided during the writing process. Remember, who cannot write their own stories. So when a teacher, you provide a story frame. What is a story frame? This is a story where you leave out some words. When a teacher we aspire and you leave out some words, lapho abantwana bezowagcwalisa. You provide resources for research purposes, like the library if there is one in your school, the internet if the school has a Wi-Fi, as well as the books. Right? Let us continue. Right? What do you do during listening and speaking time? You discuss the genre. You plan, brainstorm, responsibilities of the learner, timeframes, discuss rubrics. So in short, you explain clearly and come with the rubric when a teacher explain what is expected from the child, right? The entire project must unfold in this way. As I have mentioned, ukuthi you discuss i-rubric ungakaqalwa ukubhalwa, ungakaqali ukubafundisa abantwana ini i-genre leyo. Come with i-rubric ubatshele ukuthi bantwana bami ngizofundisa into so, but here are my expectations, and lo msebenzi lona is going to be so much marks, and it is an assessment that will be contributing to your marks at the end of the year and at the end of this term. And ubatshela abantwana ukuthi it is so important because this is the first and the last formal assessment for the term. Discuss an rubric so that while you are teaching them leyo text yakho bezobe be aware emqondweni abo babe mindful ukuthi that text is so important. Right? Now let us continue to the next slide. And I hope siyabona ukuthi as we are teaching, as we are busy with e-project, it doesn't mean ukuthi ama-skills lawa e-language we are throwing them away. Ama-skills are still there. Your listening and speaking is still there. Your reading and viewing is still there, as well as your writing and presenting is still there. So when a teacher, you model the reading, then learners read selected text, and you gather information with the learners from the library or internet, and you bring it to the class. The learner researches topic using resources provided by the library. For the learners that are slow, you make notes using the frame. I'm repeating this frame story that now abantwana abastrugglishayo come up with a story frame that they will complete. Right, next slide. Coming to the writing stage. So writing, even now it's challenges, it's still the same with writing. You follow the same process, brainstorming of words, and then a first draft, edit, proofread, and then you present the final product that is marked with a rubric. Even here, abantwana mabenza le writing, first come with a rubric. Discuss a rubric yakho first before you let abantwana write. Ngoba manje if usebebhala sebazi ukuthi what are you expecting, what when a teacher you want to see, is going to be easy for both of you when a teacher nabantwana bakho. Right? The next slide. The slide is just explaining the stages. That in stage 1, what is happening, collect evidence like pictures, information, examples, articles, extract electronic resources, have a variety, isn't there? And then it is also explaining stage 2, what is happening there is the handing in of posters, charts, booklets, etc. Abantwana, they rewrite it legible in their own words, the original, etc., etc. Stage 3 is the final stage, which is oral and presentation, which should be done this term. However, it will be added on to the term 4 marks. Right, the last slide, it is talking to the sources that must be referenced. Ne? So it's talking to the bibliography. So now bibliography angithi la umntwana meseqedile i-research yakhe useyabhala not research per se i-project yonke nje uyabhala ke ukuthi i-bibliography ubani umbhalo wale ndaba yabhalwa ngamuphi unyaka yapublishwa kanjani like nini kuphi etc. So siyayazi sonke i-bibliography so ibe simple ngoba phela yase-primary school. Right, that's that. Right now, let me show you examples of projects. Ningahambi-ke njengoba kade eshilo Mr. S ukuthi cela ningahambi because iziningi izinto eziba khona lama-technical issues. I'm going to flag now the last slide sethu which has got ama-examples, ama-projects.
That's a really page. So it's done this.
Hi, colleagues. Can you see the slide which says grade 4?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes.
Right.
Yebo. So those are examples. Ama-examples lawa ama-projects. Ama-examples ngeke nganipha na last year. Kunanama-examples ama-rubrics. Yabona nje lapho yase grade 4 le research and then siqhubeke nawo ne-present what you call no writing wakhona ne-presentation. Remember when you ask your questions kwi-research number 1 i-research yakho ithi 10 marks but ungabanika abantwana ama-questions ayi-20 and you mark each question half mark. Ungabanika abantwana ama-questions ayi-30 uwamake kodwa uwadivide up until wena uzuphume no-10 marks. Akukho i-restriction ukuthi ene fanele azabe u-10 ama-questions ezikushiwo lana kwi-prescribe i-assessment. And also with your writing kukwena ukuthi how do you structure i-writing yakho. However in total wena thina as ku-SSMs sizofuna ukuthi usifakele net u-30 marks. Kusho ukuthi njengoba kuthiwa bewuthe over 60 you can still divide ama-marks wakho uwenze abe yi-30. In as much as lapha kwi-presentation yomntwana ungawenza ama-marks akho abe out of 40. However mose sewurekhoda phansi uwadivide umnika umntwana i-half of that mark at be one equals to 20 marks. So those are the examples ke yama projects per grades as well as ama rubrics. That was your grade 4. And then let us continue. I-rubric here, oral presentation lena naye enye project naye enye i-research u-10 marks laphayana i-drama. Remember ama-genre esiyenza ngawo i-projects, i-drama, i-folklore, i-short story, i-novel. Those are the genres. Nazia, nama rubrics. So I'm going to send to you guys the presentation so that you'll be able to, in your spare time, you sit down and you look at lama rubrics and uzame ukuthi uwenze awakho ama rubric abe ukuthi acishe afane nawo lawa osiwabona lana kwi presentation. And ungakhohlwa ukuthi kwi-research yakho you must include ama-questions that are talking about i-author, ukuthi le author le kahle kahle iyazalelwa kuphi. Kusho ukuthi wena thisha you must find umlando we-author as well. Le author le maybe yafunda kuphi, or le author le kahle kahle yayifunde eziphi izifundo, ngoba amanye ama-author babhali uthola ukuthi babe ngebona othisha. Kwakumuntu nje mhlawumbe wayiloya but at the end of the day wagcina ebhala ama-poems. You must find izinto ngani ngama-authors nangama-poets lababhali, and then in your questions with research you must include questions that are talking to that. So yonke ke le presentation le slide lesi sokugcina sikhuluma lama slides lawa akhuluma nje nethi ngama examples ama projects as well as ngama rubrics nama different genres esizobhala ngawo i-project. Please allow me to stop here and give you guys an opportunity to ask questions. So if you have a question, I will see by the show of hands. So I'm stopping my sharing. I can see